It's 3 o'clock. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Thank you for everyone who is watching us. Thank you so much for joining the session. A very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to today's Ask WEP session on elevating women entrepreneurs, understanding various MSME schemes and initiatives for women. I am Sonal Jetli. I am associate partner at Microsafe Consulting. I'm also a part of the WEP Executive Committee and I'm the moderator for today's session. And just very quickly, before I begin this session, I would like to introduce WEP to those viewers who are joining us for the first time. So, Women's Entrepreneurship Platform is a public-private partnership aggregator platform. It is incubated at Niti Aayog. The platform aims to promote an enabling environment for accelerating women's entrepreneurship in the country. We work through the platform through a lot of programs that we work with multiple partners, and our aim is to promote access to information, access to mentors, networking, finance, market linkages for all women entrepreneurs in India. And the platform is led by Ms. Anna Roy, who remains our guiding force and guiding light behind the Women's Entrepreneurship Platform. Now, I will quickly introduce our esteemed panel, which really needs no introduction. We have two eminent women leaders with us today who oversee and steer the strengthening of the entire MSME ecosystem in India, which is really the backbone of our economy. So I will first introduce Ms. Mercy Epao. Ms. Epao is Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Prior to her current posting, she has served the Government of India in various capacities across ministries and departments for more than 25 years. Some of her most important postings were at the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, development of the Northeast region. As the Joint Secretary, currently she is in charge of implementation of various schemes pertaining to strengthening of small and medium enterprises. She also oversees international cooperation for SMEs and leads forums leading to strengthening of India's MSME sector. Under her leadership, the Women's Entrepreneurship Cell of the Ministry has taken many special initiatives to promote women-led MSMEs in India, especially focusing on all aspects that strengthen and accelerate growth of women-led enterprises. Another eminent panelist we have is Dr. Ishita Ganguli Tripathy. Dr. Ishita Tripathy is the Additional Development Commissioner of MSMEs Government of India. She is an officer of the Indian Economic Services 99 batch. In the past 25 years, she's worked with the Ministry of Finance, with Planning Commission, Ministry of Road Transport, Ministry of Commerce and Industry in various capacities. She's also a postgraduate in economics and population studies, and she's a PhD and doctor from IIT Delhi in managerial economics. So, welcome both of you to this Ask Web session today. And I would first start with Ms. Epao. Ma'am, the first question that we have today, and there is a lot of interest for this session. We've received more than 600 registrations for this session today. And women entrepreneurs from across the country have sent us more than 400 questions. But of course, we've curated and picked specific questions for you as we have very limited time. And thank you so much for joining us. Our first question is that the Ministry of MSME is working a lot to promote women-led enterprises in the country. What are your key priorities and what is your strategy as the ministry for accelerating women-led enterprises and really helping them graduate from informal to formal and from small to micro to medium and then to large?
Thank you, Sonal, and namaskar to everyone. I hope my voice is audible, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's a privilege and a good opportunity to connect with you and through this medium. And thank you for having us. Ministry of MSME, as you are all aware, contributes majorly to our GDP, manufacturing outputs, and also is second to agriculture only as far as the employment generation is concerned. So government is also very focused how to develop this MSME sector. And if you look at the Ministry of MSME, we broadly work under 6 verticals. The first is the credit linkage. And for many of the MSMEs, this is one of the hurdles or one of the challenges that they face. So we are trying to also introduce the ease of doing business by bringing in this Udyam registration and also the Udyam assisted portal. And my friend Ishita, she handles that and she will be talking in detail to you today. So I hope that will be helpful to all those who are participating in this forum. And we have several important and very good schemes to help our MSMEs access credit, such as Prime Minister Employment Generation Fund. And if you look at that, I will also give a little bit detail later on how we have helped the women with this particular program. And we have CGT MSC, and we also have Self-Reliant India Fund, which is a growth fund, to help the MSMEs who have reached kind of a plateau, have the potential to outgrow MSME bracket, but they need capital. So for that equity funding, we have brought under the SRI fund. And so these are the credit linkage schemes that we run. The second one is access to technology. Technology, as you all know, is very important. And as we now talk about Industry 4.0 and more, we know that it's very important to also upgrade their units with the latest technology infusion. And so we have several schemes such as Sufurti, Aspire, Special Credit Link Capital Subsidy, particularly for the SCs and the STs. And we also have Cluster Development Program MSCs, where we also give them the latest technologies. So in detail, I will also talk a little later. But these are some of the programs that we implement to help technology infusion. And it's also important to let you know that apart from the 18 technology and tool rooms that we now have 15 new technology centers, and 5 more are coming, which are of mega proportion, and 100 ECs. And this program has been prepared under hub and spoke model. And so we will have 20 technology centers with 100 extension centers feeding to that. And the third vertical is on access to skilling. And as you know, it is not only reskilling, but also upscaling. And so here we have several schemes and we run hundreds of courses because MSME is multi-sectoral. And so for many sectors, we have training programs. So if any of you would like to also see what are some of the skilling that are being provided by the ministry, kindly look up our website and you can also help some of your members, yourself, if not your friends, to access this skilling. And we also have vendor development programs through our DFOs, Development Facilitation Offices, that are spread across the country. We run those things as well. And I think these are very important intervention to help our MSMEs become confident, competent, and also take them to the next level. Now, the fourth vertical that we work on is on the market access. Whatever wonderful products and services that you have, finally you need market to be successful. So here we have procurement and marketing support scheme, which helps the MSMEs exhibit their products and services within India. And we have been facilitating MSMEs by the hundreds and thousands. And so you can also look up our PMS scheme. And for the international, we have international cooperation, where we have now approved more than 1,000 most popular fairs and exhibitions across the globe, whereby we facilitate our MSMEs to go exhibit there, participate there, see what are some of the latest technology, see what is the trend of global market, for the current thing, because marketing, as you know, is very versatile. So we try to upgrade their capacity through our IC. And I would like to inform all the participants that from 25th of this month to 25th of next month, for 1 month, this portal will be open. So all the associations who would like to take their members to participate in some of these fairs pertaining to their sector, kindly filled up in this portal, and then we will see how we can also, consider your proposal. Now, the fifth one is the manufacturing competitiveness. As we are all aware, hygiene is very important. The processes hygiene, the environment, all these are becoming more and more important. Being green, in whatever you develop. And so here we have Z, Lean, MSME innovation. And innovation will have three verticals. One is incubation. Now, you may be having a very good idea how to grow your business, but you don't know how to create a viable business model. So, for that, we have more than 600 host institute identified to incubate your idea and create a viable business model for you. And we also have design intervention because we need to diversify our products. We need to fit to the demand of the market. And so, as it is a very versatile sector, we are helping our MSMEs diversify their designs as well. So as of now, 55 designs have registered, are already completed. And for the incubation, we have 90 GOEs already formed. And under the intellectual property rights, we have 77 intellectual property facilitation centers approved. And so these are some of the interventions that ministry is taking to help the MSMEs and women. Of course, if you come forward, we are always giving a focus to whoever applied. And the sixth one would be the center state collaboration, because industry per se is a state subject, but we would like to also collaborate, synergize so that we get scale. And we want to see that the ecosystem of MSME is developed. And so RAM programs helps with that. And it will be a very important initiative of this ministry when it becomes fully functional. Now, women-centric initiative that ministry has taken up in the last 2 years under the Samarth initiative, we have said that all the exhibition participants, whether it is domestic or international, 20% will be reserved for women. All the skilling programs that we run, 20% will be reserved for women. And then we would like all our women to come under the formal umbrella. So we are also conducting special Udyam registration camps for women. And the fourth thing is we have National Small Industry Corporation, NSIC, which is a CPSC under our ministry. All the commercial schemes run by the NSIC, 20% are reserved for women. So these are some of the special initiatives that we have taken for women. And I must say that, we have achieved 20%, and we hope that this trend will carry on. And by talking to the GEM, that is a government e-market platform, the Womenia portal that they have, we have integrated with our GEM. And so any buyer who would like to buy from women can log into this Womenia and then see what are their portfolios and then buy products from them. And we have also waived off the caution money, which GEM, once gets it from the applicant. We have waived that off for the women and the SCs and STs. And one very important step, as Sonal has already shared, is WEP with Niti Aayog. Now we are collaborating with them, and we would like to reach out to the third, fourth tier towns and cities. We would like to also identify the women associations which are there. So we are writing to the state government, and we would like to have a data of all the women associations so that we know how many women associations are there, and then the members. And then through the Udyam and then the UAP integration, we would like to bring them under the formal umbrella. So we're going to be having some exciting programs coming up under WEP, and Sonal is going to be a part of that. And my friend Ishita also will be part of that. And also, we have been having, but again on the 29th, we will be having a CPSC enclave because government are women entrepreneurs. And so thrust upon the CPSEs, the government departments, that they should mandatorily buy from women 3% of all the procurement, goods and services included. Okay, so we're going to have that. And here at the policy level, we are doing our very best. And we hope that our women entrepreneurs will come forward and benefit from the scheme. Kindly follow us because we are very active on our social media and we keep posting the new initiatives that we have taken, the schemes, even success stories we have been posting very regularly on our platform. So kindly follow us on our social media and it's good to connect with you. Yeah. And so Sonal, I think you can go to the second. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercy ma'am, for that very elaborate description of so many initiatives that you have for entrepreneurs and specifically for women entrepreneurs. I would now request Dr. Ishita to answer some of the questions that we have for her. One is, Ishita ji, is, would you like to add any other special benefits that the ministry has for women entrepreneurs, and also delve a little deeper on why is Udyam registration so important for all women entrepreneurs? Why should they get Udyam registration? And what's in it for them? So over to you.
Thank you, Sonalji, for this session. And Mercy has covered most of, has given a wonderful overview of what the ministry is doing. Just to add a few things to what she said, and to address the question that you asked about why Udyam is important. Now, what we are doing through Udyam is to give an identity to the entrepreneur. That identity is very important. It's in the form of an Udyam certificate, which has an Udyam number. So the government is recognizing that entrepreneur as an MSME. And after that identification, the enterprise should be able to use it further for some purpose. It can be priority sector lending, it can even be availing benefits of the Ministry of MSME. Some state governments have made Udyam mandatory for availing benefits of their schemes as well. Apart from this formalization drive that we have undertaken, and I would like to give you some figures to make you understand how big this has been in the past few months. Today we stand at 3.80 crore MSMEs which have registered, and employment of more than 17 crore. This, of course, is only of the enterprises which have registered. As Mercy said, that we are taking up formalization drives. We are doing that not just at the Ministry of MSME level, but also with state governments. UP State had a formalization drive which lasted the entire month of June last year. Then we see that there are a number of informal micro enterprises, and if you see their proportion, the proportion of women-owned enterprises in the informal sector, of course, that's much higher than in the formal sector. So on the 11th of January last year, we started this formalization project. We are doing it with Sidley. Since that time, 11 Jan 23 till now, we have got 1.44 crore on the UAP, Udyam Assist platform. Now, how is Udyam Assist different from Udyam? Udyam mandates that the enterprise should have a PAN. Now, this was a long-standing demand of various stakeholders that not every enterprise has a PAN, especially the informal micro enterprises, which we also call nano or tiny, very, very small, tiny enterprises, but they are enterprises anyway. So to give them a recognition, we started this formalization drive, and we have 1.44 crore in just about 13 months. They have been onboarded. Now, UAP can be used only for priority sector lending, but now we are thinking of widening the scope and giving them some more benefits. But if any UAP, Udyam Assist platform certificate holder, graduates onto getting a PAN, then the system has already been integrated and you get an Udyam certificate immediately. Apart from that, if I were to talk about the policies that we are implementing, procurement policy is one major thing that we are doing for the micro and small enterprises. By that policy, we have already made it mandatory for CPSCs and ministries and departments of the central government, not just to procure 25% of their annual procurement requirements from micro and small enterprises, but within that, 3% should be from women-owned enterprises. Then if I were to talk about schemes, Mercy has already given a number of examples. I just want to give one example each of the issues which women face, especially in terms of access to finance, access to technology, and access to marketing. One example of each. In finance, credit guarantee scheme for micro and small enterprises that has a higher coverage for women-owned enterprises that goes up to 85% vis-a-vis the guarantee that we give for other. And also the guarantee fees, those are 10% less for women entrepreneurs than for other entrepreneurs. In technology, I would like to give the example of Z, which has come into vogue recently. And for women enterprises there, we see that the subsidy is 100%. The last one, access to market. I would like to give the example of procurement and marketing support scheme. There, if any enterprise, a women-owned enterprise wants to participate in the trade fairs, for example, the trade fairs and Pragati Maidan. So that is 100% subsidized for women-owned enterprises. One last point I would like to make here, and then we'll move on to your next question, is all the interventions that Mercy talked about, and I'm just adding to what she said, all these interventions actually hinge upon the 7 A's that we have been looking at. Availability of schemes, accessibility of those schemes, affordability. Like when I said that the credit guarantee scheme has 10 percentage point less as annual guarantee fees for women, that means the schemes are being made more affordable for them. Awareness, the 4th A, awareness. Are the women-owned enterprises aware of what all is available to them? In this context, please do have a look at our ebook, which is available on both Ministry of MSME and the Office of DC MSME website. Each scheme has been summarized in just 2 pages or maybe less, 1.5 pages. So just that glimpse, you get to know what available for you. The 5th A, alliance. We are partnering with a lot of stakeholders. For example, this forum right now. So we are in alliance with you. The 6th one, accountability. Recently there have been amendments in some acts. If a buyer is not willing to pay to a micro or a small enterprise, our focus is on moral suasion. That's our first focus. And then, of course, it ranges right up to amending acts. And the last one, we do need to recognize what we have achieved. It gives us an encouragement to move forward even more. And just one example there, this is not specific to women enterprises, but women enterprises are covered there. The target that we had set for ourselves for giving access, additional benefits of 2 lakh crore to under the credit guarantee scheme for women, for MSEs, micro and small enterprises. The target that we were to achieve in 4 years, we are all set to achieve it in 2 years. So that's a real boost. I'll stop here and I'll be.
Great. Thank you so much, Ishita ji, and very beautifully put in terms of the 7 A's that you said. Availability, access, affordability, awareness, alliance, accountability, and also recognition of achievements.
We can't hear you, Sonal.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
You're audible to me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So definitely the 7 A's are very useful in how the ministry is strategizing to ensure that schemes align to all of this. What my next question is to you, Ishita ji, is what our women entrepreneurs usually face is that there are, of course, a host of schemes, but it's difficult sometimes for them to get to know what if they are eligible or not. What are really the thumb rules you would say are there for women entrepreneurs for accessing these wide range of schemes? Because every scheme has a different eligibility criteria, and as you also told us that there is an ebook that has a summary of all of these schemes that gives us a glimpse. However, what are some of the rules that every woman entrepreneur should keep in mind when she wants to access all of these very important criterias that you have set, especially for women entrepreneurs, even within the broader schemes? There are so many special benefits for them. So, what are some of these thumb rules they should follow?
Before I come to the thumb rules, I would like to quote two figures, very encouraging figures. For women entrepreneurs, the UAP that was launched last year, we have 70% of the ones who have formalized from informal sector. That is 70%. Now that's a very encouraging figure. The other figure is that of PM Vishwakarma beneficiaries who have submitted their applications. 64% of those are women entrepreneurs. Now, why I'm quoting these two figures is that before we go to the thumb rules, women entrepreneurs do need to understand that they are forming the bulk, the large share of the enterprising abilities are coming from them. So it's an inherent quality women already have, entrepreneurial skills. So we just need to guide them as to where they can get all this information from, what they need to be aware of before actually embarking on setting up an enterprise. Sonalji, you must be aware that we have this wide network of DFOs. These are our field offices. We have field offices in every state and branch offices, also 32 of field offices and 27 branch offices, which cover the entire country. Recently, just last week, we've inaugurated two more. Now we have our officers there. They are fairly senior officers, joint director or director level headed organizations. They are completely hands-on and they are doing the hand-holding for all the schemes that we launch here. They are actually implementing it. So any enterprise, any entrepreneur asking for information, wanting to know what is to be done, you must contact our DFO office. The second is we also have a number of MSME associations throughout the country. Registered with us, we have 287 MSME associations. So they are also very active. So when we do a program anywhere, we always do it in partnership with some association or the other. For scheme level implementation, if an MSME wants to know what to do, we have different channels. For example, the PM Vishwakarma scheme, which was launched on 17th of September, there we are partnering with CSC. So the CSC is not just helping the to register and apply on the portal, but they are also helping us with the awareness generation. Yeah, so those are some of the things I would say that will help the MSME to get to know what they need to do before they actually embark on this path.
Great, that's very useful. So, DFOs are the key focal points you say women entrepreneurs should be aware of. And where are these DFOs placed inside the state architecture? So, is it a particular office of DFOs? How can they be reached?
Some of the DFOs are in the state capitals, but the others may not be in the state capitals. That whole list, where all they are located, who the nodal officer is, the nodal officer's phone number, email, everything is available on the DC MSME site. So please do visit. The details of the branch offices are also there.
Okay, great. So DC MSME site has all the details of the DFOs that you can contact for various schemes. Also, a very important point that you mentioned was earlier was that those who do not have enough documents or the PAN card, especially the informal women entrepreneurs, because we also have questions from women who are asking, what if I don't have a PAN card? How do I get registered? So you've already answered that in the form of Udyam Assist, which has actually helped informal entrepreneurs to register as Udyam registered, and 70% have come from the informal sector. That's very, very encouraging. Also, in terms of PM Vishwakarma, 64% are women. That's also a huge number. So I will move on to some questions that have come directly from women entrepreneurs, and some very, very specific questions as well. Mercy ma'am, one question for you is, many women are asking, is there any support available for patents and IP registration for women inventors in the MSME sector? I know you briefly touched about it, but is that also something that the ministry is looking at?
Yes, like I mentioned, under the champion scheme, there is a IPR where 77 intellectual property facilitation center (IPFCs) have been set up across the country. If you want to know where they are located, you can also click onto our ministry's website and find out wherever these IPFCs are set up. We help them get the IPRs, yes, and women, of course, are also included. In fact, if it is women, I think we are given, better preference to them also. So women can always access that.
Okay, great. Also, many are at a stage where they also want to explore exporting. So I know that you mentioned there are special schemes that assist them and give them 100% subsidy to participate in fairs. However, how do you, are there orientations, or how do you connect and support women entrepreneurs who are at a level which where they can start to explore export opportunities to international markets?
Yeah, very good question. We are also trying very hard to increase our export. And so this is one very important vertical that our ministry is also giving focus to. And so to help our MSMEs get into the foreign market, we have this international cooperation component under which the first time exporters, capacity building for first time exporters, it's called CBFTE, and it was launched by our honorable prime minister in 2022. And so here we have three components. First is you must get yourself registered to the Export Promotion Council, and we have signed more than 20 MOUs with all the export promotion councils. So
Okay.
whatever is the registration fee, we are paying it. Okay, so you don't have to pay if you are a first time exporter. So that is one. Number two, you need to have certification for your exports, right? Whatever product you are trying to export. So for getting your product tested, it costs a lot of money. So for testing and certification also, we are helping them up to 1 lakh per product. Okay, that we are helping. Another thing is, if you start exporting, then we are also giving you the insurance coverage also for the first time exporters. So these are some of the initiatives that we have taken to help our MSMEs who want to enter into the global value chain. Now, also it's also very important that you follow the compliances, whatever is the regulations, the compliances, and also we're also trying to build up a knowledge portal called Global Market Intelligence System. Okay, we have just signed MOU with Exim Bank, and it'll be in their portal that necessary information, like where can this product be sold, for example, handloom or textile ka. And then what are some of the documentations that are required, what are the regulations. So some of this basic information where you can start exporting your product will be put up on that. So we have signed the MOU, so it'll take a little more time, maybe a couple of months more to really get it functional. But yeah, GMIS is also one of the initiatives that we have taken. And so there are several requirements that are to be complied with before you can send to foreign countries. So all these things we are trying to help at the policy level. Yeah, I think that will be helpful for information.
Can I add to
Thank
what Mercy just said, Sonal?
Yes, sure, sure.
Just one point, she's covered everything. By definition, we are trying to promote the MSMEs which are export oriented. So, in 2020, the definition changed, and now
Yeah.
the dual criteria we follow is the investment in plant and machinery and the turnover. So, from that turnover figure, we are actually deducting the actual export figure to categorize the enterprise as whether it's a micro or a small or a medium. So that way we are encouraging them to be export oriented.
Excellent. That's wonderful, and all the exporters in the making would be very happy to hear all of this, especially all the provisions that you put in place for first-time exporters, because there are many women who would be first-time exporters and would need all of these facilities. My next question comes from many women who are asking that as small entrepreneurs, sometimes their payments are very delayed. So, how do they deal with it? And can they get financial or working capital support against their purchase orders? So, delayed payments still remains a problem. So, how to deal with it? And are there facilities specially for working capital against purchase orders?
So for I'm assuming the question is for me, is it?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes,
Is the
Yeah.
yes.
question?
Yes, Shita,
Okay.
please say.
Okay. So for delayed payments, in the MSMED Act, Chapter 5 talks about the micro and small enterprises. If their payment is delayed by more than 45 days from the date of delivery, then they can approach a quasi-judicial body, which is the MSEFC, Micro and Small Enterprise Facilitation Council. These are there all over the country since, as Mercy mentioned, that industry is a state subject. So we have MSEFCs in every state, and not just one, but in some states we have more than one MSEFC. So these are the quasi-judicial bodies. Then to approach them, the micro or the small enterprise can go to our Samadhan portal and upload the details of the case of the application where they have been denied payments or the payments have not are delayed. Then the MSEFC and the state government, they do call for hearings, and then that whatever judgment is given, that becomes implementable. So that part is already there. But if you see the Samadhan dashboard, there are a number of cases. About 10% of the total cases are also settled through mutual negotiation. So that means the buyer and the seller, without going for hearing, even before the hearing stage came, they settled, because this Samadhan is actually giving them a platform for hearing out each other's cases and to settle their payments due. The third thing, I mentioned it briefly in the first question posed, there have been amendments in the Income Tax Act also, and you're aware of that, where whatever amount has not been paid to the seller by the buyer, that amount has become this year it has become effective. That amount gets added to the buyer's income. So the buyer
Okay.
would rather pay within the 45-day than show that this much is pending, that the buyer was supposed to pay to the micro or small enterprise, and then show it as his or her income. That apart, moral suasion is something that we try. Whenever an enterprise approaches us, we do take it up with the buyer. Also, if something is pending from CPSCs, we immediately take that up, and and we ask the CPSCs to resolve the issue. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Shitaji. Other question that is very, very common is we are not able to raise working capital timely, and that really affects the business. So that is one part. And the other part is even when they are able to take loans from banks, they do not actually get the full amount that they requested for. It is 50% of what they applied for, even when they are giving collateral. So how do they resolve and work around these financing issues, which are very operational, and even when they are compliant, sometimes it's very difficult to get loans from banks.
So the this issue is brought to us by various entrepreneurs, and we address the issue at various levels. One is, of course, the banks are under the ambit of Department of Financial Services, so we take it up. The second is we take it up with banks directly. The third is our credit guarantee scheme for micro and small enterprises, which does not ask for any collateral. It's a collateral-free loan. So we work through them also. The fourth, the outreach programs I mentioned, when the programs are held in tier two, tier three cities, we actually call the bankers based there, and the enterprises are also there, so that each of them can appreciate what issues the other is facing, and sometimes they do resolve right there while discussing. The next point is, again, I'm going back to the example of PM Vishwakarma. There, the loan amount is, the first tranche is 1 lakh and the second tranche is 2 lakh. We are co-implementing the scheme with Department of Financial Services. So three ministries are involved: Ministry of MSME, Department of Financial Services, and the Ministry of Skill Development. So since DFS is already on board and we have had multiple rounds of meetings with banks, so when we say collateral free, it is not just collateral free. The scheme actually does not even insist on it insists on the CIBIL, but a loan is not rejected because of a low score. So you see, we are trying to facilitate that, and this facilitation becomes even more effective when we work in a converged manner, which we are doing in this scheme. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Ishita ji. Mercy ma'am, the next question maybe you can take up is, do nationalized banks actively promote MSME schemes, or do women entrepreneurs need to go to banks and specially ask for the schemes of MSME that are routed through banks and they can get to know about it? So, what kind of an approach works here?
Um, Very good question. I think finance linkage is dealt by my friend Ishita, so she would be the right person to even answer it. But just to answer quickly, we also have meetings at least once in 6 months with the banks. Okay, because
Okay.
we also get a lot of complaint that they went to the bank, but the bank has rejected their application. It's so difficult to get loan. This kind of complaint keep coming. So we
Yeah.
also tell them that kindly appreciate whatever application you receive, and then don't just reject them outrightly, but also handhold them, tell them how to apply, and if there are some lacuna which they are missing, kindly guide them in a way that they don't get discouraged. So this kind of interaction we do have with the banks. And then we also tell them that it's very good when we talk at the top level, because everybody knows their job, but the entrepreneur goes to the last mile branch. So your branch manager needs to know, your branch manager needs to be friendly, your branch manager needs to know the schemes under which these women or men, or that way for that matter any micro entrepreneurs are approaching, because they don't have that kind of capacity to really be bold and courageous. You need to handhold them. So we do have meetings, once in 6 months or once annually at least, and then we say we want to also help build the capacity of your branch managers. We do that also, but the banks, they will of course say that they also have their own budget for this kind of capacity building. And in a meeting, yes, they all always come very positively, but yeah, unfortunately we keep hearing that the last mile branches are not very friendly to the first time applicants. So we are trying to help how best we could, but that again is outside of MSME, as Ishita ma'am has said, that it comes under the DFS, so it's another department altogether. But we all work together. So maybe Ishita can answer whatever I have left out.
No, just to add to what you said, Mercy, that we are working closely with SIDB in a number of projects. So that helps. Banks do have their own schemes also for women. For banks, any lending to MSMEs is a part of the priority sector lending. And our outreach programs that we conduct, we do involve banks in them. So that way the enterprises do benefit.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I encourage our viewers also to send us live questions if you have very pressing questions. Like question that we received live here is that are there any special incentives for women entrepreneurs who get incubated in an incubator and who are Section 8 company? So is there a special seamless benefit for those who get incubated through many incubators also that you're working with, Ishita ji or Mercy ma'am, whoever wants to take up that question?
As far as my knowledge goes, I don't know whether there is any special provision for incubating women ideas, but we do have hackathon. We conduct them, and then the ideas are incubated. That I know, but I don't know whether there is any special provision because another colleague handles this particular scheme.
Okay, okay. Also, one question that we received is, are there digital platforms wherein women entrepreneurs can sell their products, but it doesn't require a GST number? So
Yeah.
we know that ONDC is there, but
Yes, yes.
that is not.
ONDC, we are, yeah, under active consideration, but it's yet to be launched. Okay, so hopefully it'll be done and then it'll be transactional, so it'll really help. But as of now, we are under active consideration as far as ONDC platform is concerned.
Great. We have very sector-specific questions, Mercy ma'am, but one again very common thread everyone is asking is how do I get mentors and how do I build networks? Because guidance is very, very important to go to the next level. That is one. And the next question is women entrepreneurs who are based out of tier 2 and 3 cities and rural areas. What is the best way for them to stay updated, get connected with all of the schemes, etc.? So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think the second question, like I said, we are very active on social media. Okay, so you can follow us because if you have the internet, then whether you are in the rural area, tier 2, 4, 5 towns or cities, you can get connected. So kindly follow us because we update our schemes and we also post success stories. We also give the QR codes, and so many of required informations are spread on the social media platform. So that is one. Another thing is we are also closely working with DICs, district industry centers. So you can also reach out to them for those who are in rural tier 2, 3 towns and cities. So you can reach out to the DICs in your state. And as Ishita ma'am has already said, you can also reach out to DFOs of our ministry because DFO is under our ministry. So you can reach out to those things. Now, for mentorship and all that, I know that many associations are also reaching out to women entrepreneurs for mentorship and to handhold them and all. So I know some good works are being done by the association, and this WEP is one such platform where we want to connect so that mentorship, handholding can be provided to the women entrepreneurs. So connect with WEP. I think that's a very good initiative, and we look forward to making this WEP more accessible, more popular, so that everybody will have a platform to connect with.
To
Sure.
add to that, Sonalji, may I add just one point to that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we have an advanced calendar of events, and if you see, most of our programs are for the tier two, tier three cities. So these outreach programs that we do it with in association with our DFOs and of course the local associations. So that would give uh, a very focused approach for disseminating any information, or women entrepreneurs, if they have specific questions, those can be addressed there. Apart from the social media, where Mercy and her team, they are very, very active.
Great, thank you, Ishita ji. And this is very useful that women entrepreneurs, irrespective of where you are based, the ministry very actively works with associations. DFOs are the arm of the ministry at the state levels, and also there are district industry centers. So if you're looking to connect and take go ahead and uptake all the schemes that the ministry has, please be updated that there are district industry centers, be part of associations, MSME associations as well as women associations, and also be aware of the DFOs in your geographical area. Also, I would like to add that the Women's Entrepreneurship platform has recently launched a mentorship platform as well, as a microsite, wherein there will be tech facilitated matchmaking between mentors and mentees. So please register on the WEP platform, and you can access mentors from different industries and have one-on-one interactions which are facilitated on the platform. Also, the platform is a one-stop repository for all the schemes of the Government of India, which are focused on entrepreneurship. So not just the MSME schemes, but any ministry that has schemes supporting entrepreneurship, you can find on the WEP platform. With that, I would like to thank you so much, Ishita ji and Mercy ma'am, for taking out your very, very valuable time. I know both of you are so busy, but thank you for taking out time and answering so many questions that we received. There were many more, but because of the lack of time, we can do it another time. And thank you so much for very valuable insights and very valuable information that you've given to all of us. And we also hope that we'll get your time for a similar session next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Namaskar.
Thank
Thank
you, our
you. Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you, and
Thank you. Thank you.